Hello, thanks for joining Your Body Advocate podcast. I am Ruth Cummings, your host, and today I have my second interview with Emmanuel Greene. Great student athlete, someone I have really enjoyed getting to know in this last year. And we talk about grounding because that's what our newsletter month is about here in October of 2022. And we're talking about grounding, how to find grounding on a team, in your own body, with your friends, in your life. It's a really fun conversation, and I hope you enjoy it and you can really put some of these ideas to practice in your own life. Let's take a nice deep breath to relax. Ready? All right, here we go.
You're listening to Your Body Advocate, telling your body's side of the story. The podcast dedicated to supporting and improving your body-mind connection so you can live a pain-free, passion-filled life, dissolving one body tension at a time. Discover the healing properties of your own body language, and together let's explore ways to support and improve essential self-talk. Now, here's your host, Master of Encouragement and Body-Mind Life Coach, Ruth Cummings.
Hello, everybody. Today we have one of my favorite people, truly, Emmanuel. We have Emmanuel Greene, incredible student athlete, wonderful friend, and just an incredible. I can't wait to see what you do in your future. So welcome and thank you for being here again. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Miss Ruth. It's always a pleasure, just to meet with you, talk with you, just whatever we're doing together, it's always fun. And, I get a lot out of just our conversation. So thank you for having me again.
Oh, you're welcome. I've been, tracking you and wondering how you've been, and you're not in our city anymore. So we miss you for sure. And I wanted to talk to you. You're really wise. And I don't know if you recognize that for your age. I work with a lot of, young athletes, student athletes, college athletes your age. And I wanted to talk to you about right now in my newsletter month for October, we're talking about clarity, grounding, and belonging. And what does that mean to people? And I wanted to get your take on this. What does it mean to you to be grounded, to belong, to find a path, to know what your purpose is? All those kind of go in the same soup.
Yeah.
And I'd love your take. You go.
To break it down and just help me out as I, try to organize this. I'm gonna start with being grounded. I think to be grounded is to be present, to be where your feet is, and to, whatever's going on around you at that time is to be there, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, emotionally, and obviously you're there physically. Just being attentive, you know what I'm saying? Within the conversations you're having, not just having a conversation just to have it, but to understand, to be understood. So to be grounded, I mean, what I think it is mostly to be present, to be where your feet is, and to have that stability in the present. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be unstable in the present. Like right now we're having this podcast Zoom meeting and I'm where my feet is. I don't want to be, texting or scrolling through Insta while, we're having a conversation, anything. So to be grounded is to be firm, to be solid. That's just what
good.
I kind of take being grounded. To feel as if you belong. I would say, so first off, know your worth and your value, and then see if you're getting, if your value is being, used, if you're wanted, and you want to feel like you belong. Is to know
This is
that
a good one. I'm gonna lead you here a little bit because to feel like you belong, let's point this in a direction of team.
Yeah,
To
okay.
belong on a team and because as you have much experience in team and in different football teams across the nation, there are ways where the team makes it easier to belong, to feel like you belong, to include people. So how does that work? And how, if someone's not feeling like they belong, what would you say, what would you suggest they do? So what does it mean to belong? How does a team do that? And maybe how does a team not do that? And if someone's not feeling like they belong on a soccer team, on a volleyball team, on a speech and debate team,
Yeah.
what do they do?
Um,
Because you're the guy, you're a
yeah.
great go-to guy for
To
these
feel
types of, yeah. So all right, you go.
to feel like you belong, like I said, like I mentioned, a little earlier, is to know your value, also know your role. And if you're not comfortable with your role, you have that conversation with, you know, the people above you that have you in your role. You want to be open, and you want to express how you feel, because you don't want to be somewhere where you're not wanted, or you're not getting, like, you're not being included or getting your worth of value. Um, so to feel like you belong, is, I keep, the only like the things that I can really think of is your role, your value, what I'm saying, knowing your value, and, getting your value, what I'm saying? And if you feel like you don't belong, you know, you want to be considerate for others, and you want to be selfless, but at the same time, it's also good to like, think about yourself too. What I'm saying? You want to be the best version of you for others. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be in an environment, or, anywhere where you're not appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be recognized and appreciated. And as a football player myself, knowing the like, I would say, players' roles and values, personally, me, like, I try to make everyone feel appreciated, from the best guy on the team to the scout team player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to, personally, like, engage with my teammates so that they know that they're appreciated. And from a guy like me, some people, may see me as a impactful player, or, you know, just, a guy with a big role on the team. And I have, a lot of influence. So I try to use my influence to show everyone that's involved in the team that they appreciate it, just with conversations, with engagement, with just anything that will build them up. And ultimately, like, if you're doing it with the right intentions and good intentions, you get the good out of it too as well. So if you don't if you if you don't really if you don't feel like you're getting, if you don't feel like you belong, you have to be aware of the situation. And also too, don't minimize yourself. Don't cheat yourself, don't cut yourself short. Like, if you're a diamond, don't treat yourself as like I don't know, a pebble. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your diamonds worth. Get your diamonds worth. And, you know, like I said earlier, like, be the best version of you. Like, put yourself in the best situation and best environment so you can be the best for others. We're ultimately here as individuals, as humans, to serve each other, to build each other up. One hand washes the other. You know what I'm saying? You scratch my back, I scratch your back, So we're here for each other. Be the best version of you for others. And, you know, don't cheat yourself. Don't belittle yourself. And, just, yeah, that's kind of how I can sum it up, for the
Okay, that's
most part.
good.
Yeah.
So, you were saying about don't belittle yourself. And that is a problem for sure in our society, where we are taught from a young age to say, if we compliment ourselves, then the second statement is usually to downplay that compliment. Have you noticed that? Like they'll say, oh, this is a really nice bag, but it was only $2 at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Like little things like that and athletes are just the same. But it was a lucky catch. Or it's interesting how you say, like, don't downplay yourself. I think it's very important. And we just do it so naturally. And so.
Because we're our own worst, worst critic,
Yeah.
Really hard on ourselves. And like I said, we have to know our value. Like, it's okay to be hard on yourself, but at the same time too, like, build yourself up, pat yourself on the back. As much as we're here to serve others, we need to build ourselves up. And, going back to this again, be the best version of you for others. And ultimately, it's going to benefit you. So
what's the hardest part about this because everybody has challenges and you're no different. So in the challenge of being your best person, but when people don't see your value, how do you stay positive? How do you stay grounded?
So you stay grounded simply, through this conversation. Like I'm like so tunnel vision on the topic, and the things that's popping up in my head is like a record that's playing over and over and over. So if you're not getting your value, and how to stay grounded is to know your value.
How do you know your value? So describe that for someone who, like you and I have talked about this a lot, but some people, they're like, what do you mean?
Yeah. So your value. The way you can know your value is simply by building yourself up. Like I said, everything is kind of correlated, and these keywords that I'm using, I'm probably being repetitive with it, but like I'm trying to, like, this is what's in my head right now, and this is what, like, I can only like get, like, take out. I can't think of anything else. Your value by building yourself up. As much as, like, when you do something bad, of course you're gonna, oh man, like I got to do better next time, or sometimes people are like, I suck for that. But when you do something good, like, praise yourself a little bit. I'm not saying to do it in an arrogant, cocky way, but you have to build yourself up. You have to look yourself in the mirror and know who you are. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses.
Even when people around you are not giving you the praise that you deserve.
Right. So, and also too, like, you have to be in control of your emotions, on, your attitude, what I'm saying, your approach. So when you're not getting that, you're not, getting what you feel as if you deserve, you stay humble. The word humble, you think being humble is being humble through the good. Like when someone, does something really good, you're like, and you're really calm and relaxed about it. They're like, oh, he's humble. But you also got to be humble through the bad as well. What I'm saying? Having that equal playing field where you don't get too high, you don't get too low. You're like in that humble level. So even when you do something bad, you have that mentality, that thought, like, the next me will be the best, the better me. What I'm saying? The next play, the next day, the next anything, and whatever it is, whatever's next is going to be the better you. It's going to be the best version of you, because I've heard this from someone. You're gonna take 2 L's. You're gonna take a loss, and you're gonna learn. You're gonna get a W. So you're
Love
gonna be
that.
So when you lose, don't think of it as a loss. You lost, learn. Next time, you're winning. You know what I'm saying? So learn from your losses, and just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Like, anything that we do in this world, like, you cannot be the best version of you without believing in yourself. Confidence in ourselves is very important. And you can't get that confidence from anybody else. You can't get it from a friend. You can't get it from you. They can help you with it, but everything starts within. It starts within. Trusting yourself, trusting your creator, trusting that you'll win at the end. You know,
It's interesting. The trust, it always comes up.
Yes, trust.
Talk about trust a little bit. How do you trust your teammates? How do you trust your coaches, even when they're not?
Yeah, so you trust. So I can, I can speak for trusting in your teammates. You trust your teammates through when you go through hard times, because as teammates you will go through hard times, like in a lot of different ways. You trust your teammates, and you would know simply based off how they reacted in that situation. Trust is not verbally, it's more based off actions. It's based off how someone responds. So you watch this person respond from them falling off, then you can trust them to get through adversity. When stuff starts to get hard, and that person starts to cave in, then you probably, like, in the back of your head, he's a good person, individually as a friend, but on a team, when stuff starts to get hard, you cave in. So, like, can I trust them? So you trust those, like, when they've been battle tested, when trust is built, and it's earned, based off actions. Like, it's just like the word "I love you" or "I trust you."
Right, you can say it. Yeah, anybody can say it,
but it's more of an action thing.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, like love is a verb. I love that statement.
Mm-hmm. So it's just actions. What you get and what you see from someone is how you love and how you trust them.
All right, grounding, belonging. So another thing about that area of the body that we're talking about in my newsletters this month that I love that your input on. We talk a lot, so you guys. So I just wanted to get something on tape, But so I remember last season talking about trusting your teammates and touching their back, and I've been talking to some of my clients about how to receive trust and also to give it. But to receive trust is also just as hard, where you can hear it, but to feel that you can trust somebody, or you can feel that you can receive something from them, friendship. For me, in a time in our lives right now where we're receiving, meals and groceries and things like that to help us, because we have some stuff going on that it's hard for us. And to receive trust, like I remember we were talking about it last season, where like you were touching some students, some of your teammates, and telling them you trusted them. Yeah. And then it took a minute, right? The first reaction is always, what?
Huh?
What do you? Yeah. And after a while, then it just becomes this huge thing, and they trust and you trust, and it's like, wow, you don't even have to say it after a while.
Right. It's very empowering, because see, people would tell you "I love you," right? We hear that, but you normally don't hear out of nowhere "I trust you." Someone will randomly tell you "I love you," but they won't randomly tell you "I trust you." So for that reassurance and to empower that relationship and that bond between you and that person, it will like blow their mind, like in a good way. Like, you just, you lay your hand on their shoulders, like, just look them eye to eye, because this is all interpersonal. You know what I'm saying? So you lay your hand, I'm like, "I trust you." Man, that's gonna hit so deep to the core. Like, they're not even gonna really understand it, because you probably the first person that told them "I trust you" verbally, just out of nowhere, randomly. Think about it. If heard "I love you" randomly, but not "I trust you."
No, you're right.
So, and trust and love, they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. So, like, last year at New Mexico, like, as a return man, like, I'm just one of 11 on this return team. In football, we all know, like, you're gonna need your teammates. Special teams, you're gonna need every single guy, especially being a return man out there by yourself, and you got 10 guys in front of you just leading you to the promised land, to the touchdown. And it's one of 11. One guy mess up, the whole play can be over. you know, and you helped me, and you told me to exercise manifesting, putting my trust and giving my trust and receiving their trust so that we can get the best result out of that play we can. So, you know, I exercised the manifesting trust. I manifested and I verbally went to them and told them too, you know, and it was just so powerful, you know, the result of the play, just beating up to it. It's just like the confidence that I had, and I felt the confidence that they had. Like it was just like, it was just so like so real, you know what I'm saying? It's good to be true. And just being able to build that bond and relationship and confidence within trust amongst each other was just, you know, mind blowing how easy it is just by telling somebody, I trust you. You know, and I think it really does something to the relationship between two people, you know, them verbally hearing that randomly, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting because like you said, we do hear "I love you," but you don't hear "I trust you," and it's
Right.
almost deeper than
Yeah.
love is. It's almost thrown around. It's not almost. It's thrown around. You know, hey, bro, I love you. Hey, I
Right.
love you. But you know, when trust is a big thing, and it's interesting because trust should come before love,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and but it's
Uh,
hard to say I trust you. So
right.
that was, I remember that play. I'm going to try to put that on this podcast because I was there watching that. And I
Yeah.
remember watching going, trust you. And I could see you across the way. And I just love that. We were trying that and it manifested and it was
Right.
just really cool to see in action, you
Yeah.
know. How
It's
about,
real.
yeah, it's real. How,
Yeah.
how is that going in your life? Non-football,
What's that exactly?
trust, love. Are you able to do that? Because, a lot of athletes have a hard time transitioning that type of feeling, like, they do anything for their teammate. They really,
That's
you know what I mean? Then
uh,
pulling that onto daily life.
uh you're right, man. The transition is, you know, tough because in a team sport, in a big team like football and with coaches, you know, you're kind of forced to have these relationships, which it's okay, you know, which is okay because when these relationships are forced, you don't know how long it's gonna take you down the line, down the road. So, you know, a lot of us, like myself, are like grateful for these forced relationships, you know, and transitioning that into the world and just outside of football, you know, and you know, you really, the world is changing a lot. You know, people hearts and minds are changing, and when you stay traditional and you don't convert to the modernized, you know, way of like living and loving and trusting, then you kind of like stand out, you know. So like I try to come off genuinely with the right intentions, the best intentions, the intentions of love for real, because the reason why I'm able to give off love and genuine and pure love is because I know where my love is coming from. I know where love is rooted from. You know, love is rooted from God, ultimately. You know, so when we know that love from our creator and what he has in store for us, his promises, that is real love. That's real love. So when you're able to receive that love from our creator, you're able to genuinely give it off to others. You know, and like I said, like the world is changing. It's changing. And I try to stay traditional and staying traditional, like I kind of I stand like out a little bit, just the way I genuinely love. Like my love is genuine, you know, and I like, you know, that is a definitely a question like I would really have to reflect on because I never really thought about, you know, the trust part outside of football. You know what I'm saying? So like we trust our family. Most of my friends come within football. Very, very, very few of them come outside of football, which I do have some friends outside of football, but we get that unconditional love and trust from family, you know, and that's we're born into that, you know what I'm saying? But the trust and love that should be built from someone that's not within your family, it's not how it used to be, you know. So it's tough, you know, and to go into like relationships between, you know, a woman and a man, like the trust factor is tough and it's hard because of our the things that are influencing love and trust. You know, it's the music, what's being placed on TV, you know, the higher up agendas, you know, they don't want two becoming one, which is more powerful than anything. You know,
Yeah.
when I two becoming one, a man and a female coming together into marriage ultimately and
Right.
becoming, which is very powerful. And in today's world, they don't want that. You know, so our, you know, generation, the world is being influenced by the influencers, and they're not promoting being genuine. They're not promoting being pure. You know, they're not promoting that. So it's tough trying to love on those that are not coming from the same place that I'm coming from, and the
Right.
aspect of being genuine with the right intentions. You know, like, I'm not looking to love or trust on someone for personal gains.
Right.
You know, I want to be able to, one hand washes the other. I want to be able to build each other up.
Like a partnership.
Partnership. I want to be able to build each other up. So, you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of influence that's against that. You have
yeah,
to, I think you guys in your generation, you just have to keep fighting for it. I think
yeah,
that on the bottom line is that it is something that many people want. And so just keep focusing on being one person's person.
right.
Having one person, it's so amazing. You know, John and I are on our 22nd year of marriage, and I know.
Yeah,
And you know, it's never easy, like, but it's so cool when you have that one person, and you know, you don't have to, you know, you can count on them and they can count on you, and they can, you can be ticked off and want to kick them across the world, and you can you can, you know, be really upset with them, but you know that even anger doesn't take stuff away. And in your, and I agree with you that in your generation at the moment, one little anger moment, and
yeah,
then the whole grounding is gone. Like the whole, you can't trust it.
yeah.
And
So
so that's why I
uh,
keep asking you, you know, and
about
all
to,
of you guys that I work with, like, what is trust? What is grounding? Because you guys are in a battle.
you're able to, you know, through the thick and thin, through the adversity, even though you want to, you know, kick them across the world, like, you have that trust factor, like, okay, we've been here before and we know we can get through it. So like, it's just when things get hard, like, you know, people don't persevere. And you know, just through any situation, whether it's in life, whether it's on the field, you know, in my relationship, like, I want to persevere. I want to persevere. Like, one thing about it, you can't run from adversity. You
Right.
can't.
No.
You know, I try to, you know, anytime I say the word adversity, I always try to say perseverance. Always, always, always. Like,
Interesting. I love that.
so,
Perseverance and
you know,
adversity.
yeah. So,
No, that's a really good connection, Emmanuel. Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, yeah, God with us.
Hey, I think we're at the end of our time. I could keep going. I mean, we've had hours and hours of
Yeah.
conversation. I just wanted to get a few of these on tape. Um, and I think that, you know, let me just ask you now, if your top five, besides playing in the NFL, NFL's number one. I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, the next four ways that you will serve humanity and make money at it, what are those?
Um, Coaching.
Yeah.
Coach,
Oh yeah.
coaching, motivational speaker, maybe. I never thought about anything like that, but you know, and motivational speaker, you know, I've been told this a lot. I'm going on to number 3,
Okay.
being a pastor.
I
Look,
can see you, little kids.
I mean, to be honest, like I love the Lord, I love Jesus, like, but if that's my calling, like I'm not gonna shy away from it. Like I'll be a youth pastor. You feel me?
Oh,
I'll
for
be a youth
sure.
pastor.
Yeah.
Keep with the kids, and
You
yeah,
just communicate with them good. You've always
yeah,
had. You always
just
have. Go. All
being
right.
in
I
charge of a
totally
whole
see that.
congregation and being in charge of the elders. And that's Lord. If that's what you want from me, I got you. But you know,
All right.
I've been told being a pastor. You
Okay.
know,
There's 3 or 4, I guess.
youth pastor.
Youth pastor.
So that's 3 right there.
So you could do all 3 of those together. You know what I'm like? You'd be,
I've,
you're
I've
going to
thought
be a
about
coach, right?
it.
Probably for, some of the colleges, and you could go be a motivational speaker on your off season. And then
Mhm.
on Sundays, you're a pastor for the youth group. So there you go. What's the last one?
Um,
I can't wait to see all this come to fruition.
yeah, let me see what else to impact, just knowing like my strengths on how I can impact this. Maybe even being a YouTuber, you
That
know,
might be right.
with you know, my own content and my own lane. You know, people lanes in YouTube and podcasts nowadays are, you know, there's a few lanes, but I think if I chose my own lane, which would be talking about pure things, which would be talking about genuine things, which would be talking about love, trust, relationships, and things from a good place, not you know, because nowadays, you know, I watch some of these videos, but they got the whole men and women versus each other. It's a
Right.
battle. Like there's so many division going on in this world, like the man against the woman, the Democrats versus the Republicans. There's a race war. There's a war amongst countries. Like they're trying to turn everything and everybody against each other. So like, you know, if I, you know, made my own content to try, you know, I can't save the world, but I can impact the world. But to make content so people can get someone that's talking about genuality.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Genuality.
Genuinity. All
Look,
right.
if it
I love
sound right,
that.
then
You
it
know
is
what?
right. I'm just kidding. But
I mean, I
yeah.
agree with you. That would be,
So,
we need it. There's a lot of, there's not enough of the middle ground saying, hey, um, it's okay to get married. It's
yeah,
okay to not have sex. It's
right,
okay not to do this, not to drink. Like when you're in
right.
college, it's like this like rite of passage. And
Mm-hmm,
it's not really good for everybody.
right.
And it doesn't make you a bad person or uncool, or there should be a lot of another thing that I think you do really well is like, and a lot of athletes that come out of college, you guys are in great shape. And I
Yeah,
think that it's something that's really taken for granted. Like, ooh, I'm always going to be like this. And let me tell you, that's, as you age, you have to work harder and harder at it. So if you at this age started personal training people that are in their 40s and 50s,
mm-hmm,
I mean, I think they really, really need it. And so you have to, you could be a great influence that way. So you could be like, you could personal train
yeah,
people who want to get married who can't find somebody because there's this war against women and men, and the
yeah.
pastor and a
That is a big war right now. Like,
yeah, I'm
it's major. Like, there's masculine women, you know, and it's about money, 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 getting theirs, and then there's men, masculine men, but their whole idea is multiple women, and and
right. They
you
won't
know,
be they won't commit. Neither
yes,
side will commit. That's what it should be. A commitment. It's a commitment podcast, you
it's
know?
uh it's a lot going on there. Yep.
Hey, as always, it's so fun. I just wanted to get some of this on tape. I just love talking to you. And
Oh, all right, Miss
we'll,
Ruth.
we'll do this again soon.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us today with Emmanuel Greene. I'm telling you, if you need some resources on how to be a better student athlete, what to expect if you're a parent wanting your child to have a great experience, Emmanuel is a great resource. He has been, this is 5th year in college athletics, and he's just been fascinating for me to talk to and learn from since I work with so many college athletes across the country. He is really wise for his years and knows a lot of ins and outs about doing your best, and he really, really tries hard and is a great team player, very positive attitude, and I just really enjoy learning from him all the time. He left his information, but if you can't find it, or you can always email me or call me and I can get you in touch with Emmanuel. Thank you so much for listening today, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Your Body Advocate with Ruth Cummings. We're so glad you've joined us today and truly believe you can live a pain-free, passion-filled life. To connect with Ruth, work with Ruth, or to grab your free ebook, go to ruthcummings.com. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Until next time, friends, be open, include the unincluded, think outside the box, and spread love and kindness one smile at a time.